Hey everybody, welcome to a new video. In today's video, we are going to get into a nice, juicy core Pilates yoga fusion workout with a special emphasis on the side body and the obliques. All you need is a mat, no equipment. Just follow along for this lovely, juicy 25-minute sweat. Let's get started. Finding yourself on your mat, feet hip distance apart, slightly bend the knees and begin to breathe the arms up overhead, and then folding back over the legs, taking a slight bend once again. Let's repeat this motion a few more times, looking up towards the sky as you reach up, drawing the belly button up and in, take a nice, big, expansive reach. Next time you come up, add a little bit of a heel raise if you'd like. Rising up onto the toes and then continuing to fold over the legs, building a little bit of heat, warming ourselves up here. Good job. Gather the hands together over your head and then folding forward and finding a flat back position. Begin to bend and straighten the knees as you bring the fingertips together and apart in a fly motion. Bending and bringing the hands together, straightening and flying the arms up to 90 degrees at shoulder height. Maintaining a nice strong flat back here, lifting the belly off the legs, knitting the rib cage together. Good job. Holding in this flat back, let's warm up the upper back, squeezing the shoulder blades together and pulsing in that arm fly position. 3, 2, and 1. Good work. Folding over your legs and bring yourself back up to stand. Fingertips behind the ears, let's bend side to side with the elbows nice and wide. Good. Working into that side body. Let's add a knee bend, a little half squat as we bend side to side. You'll be able to bend a little bit deeper over to the side now. Excellent. Keeping a nice long radiating spine as we do this and a strong belly. A couple more here. All right, we're going to separate the feet nice and wide now, turning the toes out and reaching the arms out into a nice flat position. We're going to bend and straighten the knees as we circle the arms down and up through center, bending and straightening. Good, drop your shoulders away from your ears and just send the glutes straight down to the floor. Try not to fold forward and hinge at the hips as you do this. Holding in that squat position, let's pulse here. Bending down, 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 just 1 inch up and 1 inch down. Again, keeping a nice tight core, breathing here as the heat builds in the legs. Good, widen those arms out to the side and take your palms forward. Start to squeeze the elbows in towards the obliques, activating the lats, almost like you're juicing an orange underneath your armpits. Turn the palms up to the ceilings as you draw the elbows in and out. Good, reach back out into that wide arm position and draw the arms in front. We're gonna start to pulse the legs again, popping one heel at a time. We go right and left. Good, lots of heat building up in those legs. Stretch up and over, turn the toes forward and fold forward into your wide forward fold. Dropping the head down. Good, rock the hips side to side, take a nice stretch here. Good, rolling ourselves back up to stand. We're gonna turn sideways on our mat, find a nice tall mountain pose, and begin to lift the heels up to sit down into a chair squat. Rise the heels, sit down into your squat as you reach your arms forward, reverse the squat, and then lower the heels. Good, repeating this again. Lift, lower, stretch, and lower the heels. Lift, lower, straighten, and lower the heels. This is a tough one for your balance, so find a clear point to focus on to help you with this balance. Good job. A couple more repetitions here, maintaining a nice tall spine, knitting those ribs together again. Good, let's find our chair squat and let's pulse here. We're gonna really continue to build that burn in the legs, pulsing down, down. Good, keep breathing. Shoulders down away from the ears, fingertips reaching long. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent job. Nice work. Settling the heels back down to the floor, straighten the legs, reach your arms up to clasp the palms together, and then folding forward to take a little rest. Shake out the head here, and let's deeply bend and straighten the knees as you sit the hips down to the heels a few times. Nice work. Moving on, we're going to step our feet back and hands forward and shift our hips forward so that we find a nice high plank. I want you to rock forward into your hands, lift the heels high in your plank, and then sit back and take your nice downward dog. Good, shifting forward and back through plank and back to downward dog. We'll take a few repetitions here. Let's work on keeping the head and neck in line with the spine so that the neck posture is being challenged as well. Forward and back. Each time you sit back into your downward dog, reach your heels a little closer to the floor. 3, 2, and 1. Good job. Left knee comes down to the floor. The right side of the body is going to open up and you'll find yourself in a kneeling side plank. And we'll start to rotate the torso down to tap that elbow onto the floor, getting some good spine rotation and some good oblique work happening here. Nice work. Reach the fingertips up to the sky, open up that chest, and take a nice good stretch. Good, close that right leg back down to the floor and take a child's pose. All right, let's do the other side. The right knee finds the floor, the left leg reaches long and opens up into that kneeling side plank with the left elbow reaching high. We rotate the torso, moving slowly to keep our balance, tapping our elbow down to the floor. Down and up. 3, and 2, and last one. Good job. That one's really challenging for your balance. You did awesome. Reach those fingertips nice and high, rotate everything back down, and find the tabletop position. Now let's hover the knees off the floor. Great, let's hover the knees off the floor here and start to step the feet out, out, in. Right, left, right, left. Here we go. Let's take a few repetitions here. Try to minimize movement in the rest of the body here and try to isolate that movement into the legs. Good. Taking our heart rate up a little bit more, we're going to start to jump the feet out and in now. Taking a little bear crawl jack. Jacking the feet out and in. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Sitting back, finding that downward dog position, walking the hands all the way into the ankles, stretching it out in your forward fold. So let's stretch out the shoulders now as well, clasping the fingers behind your spine and reaching them forward, even taking a slight bend in the knees as you do so. Great work. Stand on up and we'll move on to a new sequence. Good. Let's stand in a nice wide position with raising the arms up to shoulder height. We're going to take the right fingertips and reach down across the body towards the right foot. Then we're going to lunge over into that right leg and take a side bend. Good. Same thing over to the left. Fingertips reach across to the opposite foot, and then we take a nice deep side lunge with a side bend at the same time. Good. Keep this going. Reach and lunge. Reach across and then lunge towards that same arm. Good work. Good. Really getting that twisting action, that rotation and lateral side bend happening in our body. All right, moving on here, settling into our right side lunge, folding over into that side bend, and we're going to begin pulsing the lunging leg, 1 inch up and 1 inch down. Pulsing here, maintaining the posture in your upper body as you do so. 3, 2, and 1. Windmill the arms back as you take a stretch and lean back onto the opposite arm, and then fold back into your side bend. Let's repeat this dynamic windmill action a few more times. Spiraling back, reaching the fingertips up. 3, 2, and last one here. Good, holding in that side bend. And now lowering your bottom arm down towards your mat. We're going to straighten both legs and take a beautiful triangle stretch, opening up the front body, twisting and spiraling the top arm up as you look up at your fingertips. Good, lunging back into the front leg. Let's fold up and over into that left side lunge, take our side bend, and begin our pulses through the left lunge. And for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Beginning those windmill arms, spiraling back, tapping the knee as you reach up, and then folding back over into your side bend. Excellent job. Lots of breath through all of this. Keep going for 3 more full sets. Nice work. And then settling back down into your side bend. Place that left hand on the floor as the opposite hand reaches up, and you straighten out your left leg and find that triangle stretch on the opposite side. Straighten out that leg as you windmill the arms back out into a neutral T shape. We'll turn both toes to face forward. Good. Folding down for a nice wide leg forward fold. Releasing the spine, opening through the hamstrings. Soften the knees, roll up through the spine, and we'll move on into our next segment. Both toes point forward in a wide leg stance and fold forward into a flat back with our arms in a capital Y shape. We're going to start to find a side bend where we pull the right elbow back towards the right hip, taking a side bend in our flat back position. 3, 2, and 1. We're going to begin to add a double knee bend, bending and pulling that elbow back towards the hip. That's it. Take 3 more here. Core is working hard. Good. Continuing with this knee bend, pulling both arms back now from your Y shape to make a W shape as you draw both elbows in towards the hips. Good. Elbows come in and reach long. In and out. Lots of upper back strength working here. Good. Reach out into your nice long Y shape again and begin to tap the arms up and down away from the floor, working through that upper back. Tapping, tapping for 4, 3, 2, and 1. You'll have a nice burn in the upper back happening here. Release forward into your fold and really shake out that head and neck. Good. Moving on, shifting yourself into a downward dog position and then rolling through the spine. Come on out into a high plank. Chaturanga, bend the elbows down, lifting the chest up, find that upward dog. Folding back from the hips and find your downward dog position. Let's pedal out the heels here a few times. And once again, rounding forward into the plank, chaturanga, and upward dog. Good. Folding back into your downward dog once again, pedaling out the heels one more time. We're going to lift that right leg high up into a standing split position. Start to kick the right heel down towards the butt a few times to loosen out that leg, and take a couple ankle circles with the leg high up in the air as well. Good. Begin to draw the right knee up and through towards your chest and step the leg down to find a nice high lunge. Settling the fingertips behind the ears, we're going to begin to do a standing side crunch in this lunge position. So taking that side bend, dropping the elbow towards the outside of the right leg, and then dropping the left elbow down to the opposite side. For 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Moving on here, we're bowing the entire torso forward with the chin coming down towards the toes. Bowing forward and up. Really maintain a strong core here, and if it's too much for the back, we can minimize the length of this movement. Forward and back. 3, 2, and 1. You're going to bow the torso forward about halfway, reach the arms out, and then take the hands down to the floor. Lower the back knee down, and then step that front leg back and through to find yourself in this tabletop position with the leg extended behind you. Start to side bend as you draw your right knee up towards your right shoulder, and as you look back at that right knee. So we're finding this whole right side body crunch, really activating through the right side obliques. 1 more rep here. Good. Taking that long leg behind you and tapping up into the sky, finding these glute kicks behind you. Good. Let's take 4 more here. 3, 2, and 1. Reaching the leg as high as you can. Nice work. Step that right leg back and through to find your lunge again. Arms reach out into a nice wide Y shape, fingertips find behind the ears, and we bring our torso back up over our hips. Good, replace the hands back down on the floor. Step that front leg back and through and find your three-legged downward dog. Both feet to the floor now, hinging forward to find your plank, chaturanga, through upward dog and back to downward dog. Nice work. Let's do that full sequence on the other side. Taking the left leg up nice and high into your standing split, bending and straightening that left knee a few times, and circling that left ankle out as well. Get ready to draw that left knee up and through and stepping into your high lunge. Fingertips release from the floor and find behind the ears, and we'll take those side crunches, dropping over to the left and to the right. Lots of balance work here, feeling nice and strong and grounded through those legs. Breathe as you bend into those obliques. Good. Starting to take our torso bends forward and back now. Dropping the chin down towards the floor, but keeping a nice long line through the spine. Nice work. Energy radiates out the top of the head. Strong legs. You're almost there. Good. Folding forward and reach the arms out before replacing the fingertips back down. The back knee finds the floor as the front leg sweeps back and through to find that tabletop position. And we begin our oblique crunches with the left leg floating in the air. Drawing our left knee up towards our left shoulder as we turn our head and look back towards the knee as we crunch. Nice work here, everybody. Pausing with the leg extended behind and then lifting and tapping the leg up and down to activate through the glutes. Maintaining a nice posture in the upper body as you go. Breathe for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Holding that leg in an elevated position and then swinging the knee up and through, stepping up into your lunge once again. Arms reach out into the Y shape. Fingertips find behind the ears. The torso stacks over the hips. We bow the hands down to the floor and we step that front leg back and through to our three-legged dog. Good. Finding downward dog, folding through to high plank, chaturanga, upward dog, and this time let's sit back and take a restful child's pose. Nice work. Let's keep moving through and don't lose this momentum. Lengthen out through your hips and find a kneeling plank position. We're going to do some arm work here. We're going to start with a tricep push-up, and then we're going to alternate with a nice wide push-up. So taking our hands out to the width of our mat and focusing on sending the elbows out perpendicular from the shoulders. Good. Breathing with this work in the chest and arms. Let's do 4 more reps in each position. Narrow push-up into your wide push-up. Good. On this next one, holding in your narrow push-up, squeezing as you float the shoulders off the floor and squeeze the elbows in towards the rib cage. And let's do the same thing in that wide push-up, taking an isometric hold in the push-up position for 5 beats. Nice work. Folding back, find your child's pose and take a little rest. All right, gang, we are moving right along. Let's find a kneeling position with the knees hip distance apart. In this position, if you'd like to fold your mat over to give yourself some extra padding, that might be a good idea, as we will be bearing a little bit of weight through the knees. Fold the hips back down to the heels as you lower into a side crunch, dropping the right elbow down towards the floor. Good. Take it over to the left now. So there's a hip hinge and a side bend happening at the same time. And as you come out of your hip hinge, as you come back into your standing kneeling position, really activate the glutes. Give them a good squeeze. Good. Side crunch and squeeze. Crunch and squeeze. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice work, team. Good, let's move on to some side plank work. Lowering the right hand down to the floor and lengthening the left leg out and away, finding yourself in a kneeling side plank. We're going to start to draw that left elbow in towards the left knee as you take a slight hinge in the hips and come back. Good. Drawing the knee to elbow, in and out. Holding in this lifted side plank, begin to pulse the leg, activating those glute medius, pulsing up and down with the leg as you hold the rest of the body nice and solid. Good. Lowering the floating leg down to the floor, lift the lower leg up to join, so now we're in a full side plank. Let's turn the gaze up towards the hand and hold here for a moment. And for an even further challenge, lift the top leg, bringing the toe to the knee in a standing figure 4 position. Let's get into some inner thigh work. Take the top leg, step it down in front of the bottom leg, and lower the hips down to the floor. Let's find ourselves on our elbow, and let's begin to do some inner thigh lifts with that lower leg, pulsing up to the ceiling. Quick action here. Pulse up, 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 up. Good. We're going to be here for a while to really build up that burn within the inner thigh. Good. Finding a nice long leg here. And then let's hold that leg up in the air, hovering it here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Bend the knee and fold that leg in underneath you, sitting up to twist and find yourself into a pretzel stretch. Let's hold here. Good. Energize out through the top of the spine and rotate into your twist. Nice work. Let's unwind from our twist and find ourselves back into our kneeling position for our second set of kneeling side crunches. Here we go again. Hinging the hips back towards the heels as we lower into our side bend, tapping our elbow down towards the floor. Nice work. We're gonna really feel all of this in our obliques tomorrow. That's it. Keeping a nice long spine in between. Excellent job. 4 more reps here. 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Good. Finding ourselves into that left side plank this time. Kneeling side plank to start. Right leg and right arm reach long, hovering the leg up off the floor as we draw right elbow in to meet right knee. Good. Full body is working here. Breathe to support the muscular work. Good. Pausing in the side plank and then lifting and hovering that leg as you tap, tap, tap up to the side. And let's take 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good job. Good. Let's bring the bottom leg out to join the top leg as we pause in our side plank. Reaching that top arm up to the ceiling. Strong through the supporting shoulder. And then perhaps going a step further and drawing the toe up towards the knee, finding that standing figure 4 shape. All right, let's lower the hips down towards the floor and go into that inner thigh work. Taking the top leg, folding over top of the bottom leg as it reaches long, and reaching that bottom leg out and tapping up towards the ceiling to target the inner thigh. Nice work. Breathing as you go here, just a few more repetitions. And then get ready to hold that leg up in the air, isometric hold. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Folding the leg underneath you, wrapping the top body around as you take your pretzel stretch. Good. Breathe and stretch it out here, rotating the head and neck as you like. All right, team, we are getting ready to go into our home stretch. So our finisher involves 4 different squat variations. The first one being a squat with a standing side crunch. So we're going to draw our elbow down towards our knee as we lift our bent knee up from the floor. We're going to do 10 in each of these variations. 3, 2, and 1. Going right away into our next variation, toe taps, reaching the leg forward. Good. Kick that leg up from the floor as you reach the fingertips forward and kick towards the toes. 10 of these. Getting ready to go into our squat and side bend variation. Reaching the arms up overhead and taking a side bend, squatting in between, side bend. Nice work, almost there, and then we're on to our final variation, which is going to be a squat and deadlift variation. Here we go, squat and reach the arms up, folding down to hip distance and come back up. Squat and flat back, activating through the backs of our legs just as we would in a deadlift. Really be sure to use the glutes on the way back up. You're almost there. 5 more repetitions with this last variation. 3 and 2 and 1. Excellent job, my friends. Step the feet all the way together, gathering the hands together up over your head, and then swan diving forward for a nice forward fold stretch. Bend the knees, sit the hips down to the heels, and then rolling through each vertebra as you come back up to standing. And that's it. You've made it through. If you're finished with your workout for today, great job. And if not, and if you're looking for an additional little core finisher, go ahead and click on this link in the top of the screen and find your way to my 10-minute core blast video. Thanks so much for joining me. If you enjoyed the workout, please don't forget to hit that like button. It is super, super helpful. And if you want to see more videos from me, go ahead and subscribe. It means a lot. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.